Eyes down for the Hello folks, it's another stunning, beautiful Monday afternoon with a little cloud scudding across the sky. Wonderful. And the tractors popping backwards and forwards. God, they're so huge nowadays. Right, well, goods outward is beginning to fill up with stuff that I am photographing, and the underbench area is becoming clearer. So I'm going to crack on. There isn't going to be much to film today. But I'm going to take odd shots and then we'll crack on with the rest of the week tomorrow, because I'm just literally dragging stuff out, cleaning it up, photographing it, putting it on Facebook Marketplace or eBay. I've drawn a complete blank on eBay this week. I sold nought. Out of 13 lots, nought. 1 or 2 watches, but it goes on for weeks after weeks after weeks, so I'm going to leave it on there. Right, I'm going to crack on. I'll see you in a bit. Oh dear, oh dear. I made a bit of a mess. But I am clearing out a load of junk. And it is getting better. The only problem is, tomorrow is outstanding hour field. And I've made a mess. But all this can be put away very quickly. Andy's coming tomorrow with the D-type Jaguar replica at about 4 o'clock, and we're going to put it in the workshop. But I'll have to tidy all this on Wednesday. Oh dear. Never mind. It's got to be sorted. Look. Drills. Old-fashioned metal drills. Lots of the ones I used to use, like the ones I used to use when I did my apprenticeship. That's a Van Dorn. That's quite an interesting one. That's a Wolf. That's a Wolf. There's also a Stanley Bridges. Yeah, that's a Bridges Tool Company. They all work. I've tested them all. They all work. But who wants them nowadays? I don't know. I might advertise them and see if they sell. Right, that's it for me folks. I'm off. I'll see you all tomorrow. Bye now. Morning folks. Tuesday. And I'm in the workshop. The reason I'm in the workshop is because Keith and Angela are both sick. And it's raining. So outstanding in our field has been cancelled for this week, and I'm going to carry on with me tidy up. Files, hundreds of them. A lot of them, to be honest, brand new, never been used. Some slightly used, some are knackered. You know, but what do you do with a knackered file? It's high carbon steel. You can use it. You can soften it. You can beat it into shape, you can harden it again, you can use it for making all sorts of tools. So I'm going to just chuck them in a box. If they're knackered, I just chuck them in a box. There's a Farrier's rasp there. Good Farrier's rasp. I've got all the Farrier's kit now. I might start shoeing horses. I don't think so. I've got a hammer, I've got a pair of nippers, I've got a file. That's all you need. Also a strong back, steady nerves and strong arms. I ain't got them. Never mind. Perhaps shoeing horses isn't the trade for me. So folks, what is that hiding behind the hydraulic platform? What has just rolled up through the door? It's the D-type, or it could even be a C-type. But there it is. There's the little engine that isn't from it, but is another engine that was bought for it. And here's the engine that Andy wants to put in it. which seems at the moment to be a mite too tall. But there you go, we'll have to see. Pity to strip such a really good lawnmower, but never mind. Might take it out and cut the grass with it before I strip it. But there it is. Wants a bit of filler and a bit of body work, but other than that, very nice. Let's see if we can make something of it. Anyway, I'm sort of cracking on. It's looking better. Still a long way to go though. So folks, Wednesday, and we start. The first thing to do is to take the body off. After some careful measuring, it appears that this engine will fit and be accessible through the rear hatch. We may have to put a power bulge in it, but that wouldn't be a bad thing. In fact, it could be made to look quite racy and nice. So the first thing we're going to do is going to roll it over onto a blanket and get the through bolts out and get the body off. That's the first project, get the body off. So we'll crack on with it, and I'll bring you back when there's something to look at. 10 M6 bolts later, there it is, laid bare for all to see. Actually, quite a nicely made little tub. Obviously it's had its bumps and bruises along the way, but it's alright. Right then, onward. There it is folks, up on the hydraulic lift with the engine sat in place. We've got outboard bearings. That's a centrifugal clutch. We've got outboard bearings to put on there, but this shaft is a movable piece because it's just welded into this clutch housing, so we can soon jig weld a longer shaft in if we need to. But what we're going to do now is offer the body up and see where the engine is positioned inside the access panel over there. Right, let's crack on and do it. Right folks, going up for 3 o'clock. There's been wailing, there's been gnashing of teeth, there's been arguments, there's been hair tearing. My initial instinct, which was wrong, was to try and mount the engine underneath this panel. Right, but when we looked back at the original car and the original engine fitted, it actually is mounted underneath that part. Now we can get this engine in, we can get it fitting, we can have clearance over the carburettor, enough room there to get the spark plug out, and the pull is there, and the thing is we also have room to get a fuel tank in here, which would be fine because we have to be higher than that point there, which is where the fuel goes into the carburettor. So it's looking like it's going to be this engine. The thing is we also have this engine. Now this engine is an old Villiers. It's unknown, it has a bit of compression, but it doesn't run as far as we know, and it's got no spark. This appears to be the original format of engine because the bolt holes line up with the bolt holes on the plate, but it's got a longer shaft and a clutch mechanism on it, like that. This is the original. This is pictures of the original car, and as you can see, this part here, that turns with the engine, or it might be around the shaft, it doesn't matter, but all this is mounted on the engine shaft, so that the bell of the automatic clutch and the sprocket are in one piece, and the shaft drives the centrifugal mechanism inside. This spins freely on the shaft until the centrifugal mechanism picks up the drive and starts to drive the chain. Now, we've got a clutch on that lawnmower engine, but unfortunately the clutch is going to need a separate bearing to run the let's just go back under here. It's going to need a separate bearing to support it. Can you see that there? Yes, you can. It's going to need a separate support bearing on a plate. Right, so we've got that to rig, but it's beginning to make sense. Now, as I say, my initial instinct was to try and get the engine underneath here so that it was easier for servicing. But when I see the original engine is tucked under here anyway, and it works better tucked under there, then I was willing to be persuaded otherwise. And that's what happened. So there we go. Right, it's beginning to take shape. It's beginning to look like it might work. So folks, 5 o'clock, day one, and we've got it sussed. We've got it sussed. We know how we're going to do it. Andy's going to have to see if he can get a chain and some sprockets, and I think we're on for a go. So I'll see you all tomorrow. Bye now. Morning folks. Thursday, day 2 at the D-Type Jaguar Racing Engine Works. And Andy's off sourcing chains and sprockets. We have sussed out how to do it. We are mounting the engine under the fin there, which is where it was originally. And we need an outboard bearing for this centrifugal clutch, and job's done. So Andy's already got some chains and sprockets, and he's seen a guy today to get some more, so we've got plenty to go at. And when he gets back, if he does get back today, we're going to have another crack. So, onward. I'm going to give the bench a quick tidy up, and I've got loads of stuff to sort out and photograph for the workshop clear out, so I'm going to crack on with that. See you in a bit. Right folks, we're back on the car because Andy turned up just as I was finishing doing some sorting out and photographing for sale with a sprocket, and we've got the sprocket mounted. Andy's just reminding me, you've forgotten to film everything, and I have forgotten to film everything.
Where's that pole thing?
Because what I did, I don't know, Andy, that's what I'm looking for. I turned up this boss out of a bit of plastic that fitted into the old gear and fitted the new gear to the larger diameter, and then I clamped the two together, drilled the holes, right, and as there you see it, we have a sprocket mounted on there that matches the chain gear and the chain we've got. So, beginning to look better. Now we've bolted this piece of angle on there. This wood is just a temporary spacer, and I'm now going to plasma cut a piece out of this sheet, like that. And that'll fit there, and that'll put the bearing just about in the right place. Or I hope exactly in the right place. And then that will be transferred to there. Let's crack on. So here's our bit of cardboard aided design, or CAD, for the motor plate, for the engine plate, and there it is in position with the bearing on. Lovely, lovely job. Right, that's it. Right folks, 5 o'clock, D-type progress. Plate, Atco, bearing in it, fits on the clutch spins beautifully. It's only clamped up at the moment. The piece of wood obviously is just a spacer it's going to be a lump of steel or some steel pillars in there, and that's the job done. So we're looking good. This brake's going to have to be sorted out. I don't like that, that's sticking on for some inexplicable reason. I mean, it's not a great deal, but the shoe can't have moved out of position because it's on a pin, on a round pin. Anyway, that's the progress today. It's looking good. We're going to have to extend the plate a little bit to get some fixings there. But I don't know. Oh yeah, of course. This plate needs moving. So we might be able to. The thing is, we're compromised. When the body goes on, we're compromised here. The body's very close to there, and you have to be very careful. I think the next thing to do probably is Andy's coming back on Tuesday, and I think the first thing we ought to do is try the body on and finalise this position. Drill some holes through here to get fixings. Probably put a countersunk bolt in there from this side to go through, and then we might have to arrange for this whole angle iron here to slide that way, just to get the alignment right, and also to tighten the chain, to tension the chain. But that's a minor thing. That's a minor thing. Right, folks. Today, Thursday, is going to be the end of the week, because tomorrow I'm taking number 2 daughter back to York. So tomorrow is cancelled, not due to lack of interest, but having jobs to do. So, thank you all for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Hello new subscribers, how you doing? And I'll see you all next week. D-Type Works out.